What speed you just on faster, yeah.
Yeah,
Normal speed, right. And hide the thing.
yeah. Say
Is it
when.
hidden?
3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, guys? It's TBZ.
And this is BLTdAXn from ETR Gamer.
And we have just been playing some StarCraft 2 2s, and I want to show you a few of the games, so let's do it. And, yeah, what can you tell us about our opponents at BLTdAXn?
Alright, in the left-hand corner here, as a Protoss, we have the blue on my screen, but it now changes with the new patch, the Legend MT. Here we go. In the bottom corner, we have Agent Zero, who is also blue with the new patch, a Terran player.
Alright.
Yeah, so basically we were just playing some 2v2 games, and thought we'd cast some of them. These are the last 3 games we played, I think we're going to cast. So,
Yeah. And these are some pretty cool games based on some of the strategies that we decided to go for. I, for one, and I think it's this game, went for something that I'd never really go for. In light of what I've been seeing at IEM and certain streams on Zerg streams, I've been seeing a lot of this strategy going well, so I decided to go for it, and you'll see what it is as we progress through the game.
Yep. So at the moment, our sort of plans with this game is we didn't want to do anything too crazy or all in or whatever, even though, yeah, sometimes 2v2s can end up a bit like that. We were just trying to play some solid sort of macro games. So as you can see in the bottom hand corner, Agent Zero is doing the standard sort of stuff, and I was trying to harass my pro, but he did a good job of denying it. He stopped me from doing really any damage to that building SCV by keeping me off. And this Protoss player, he's getting over the standard gateway. Good thing walling off against a Zerg.
Yeah, well, good thing.
Yeah, especially with TBZ. Who,
yeah, I'm known for some pretty hectic harass, some lings grabbed into the base. Okay, yeah, well, I mean, quick thing to note, if you're a Zerg player like I do, place your overlords in awesome places, especially on this map, with the 4 little volcanic craters in the middle. Place an overlord in each is quite useful. It's very hard for, unless they have air for them to grab them, so...
Yeah, it gives you some good vision. You can see sort of what's coming through the middle here.
Yeah, pretty useful, but back to the game itself, we have the Legend MT on the Protoss in the left side. He seems to be going pretty standard as well. He's got his first gateway up, he's got his gas going up, and yeah, Agent Zero, same sort of thing, getting his orbital now. We haven't seen them expanding yet, and I do say from memory, we do believe it was pretty interesting to see that it hadn't expanded yet at the... Well,
Yeah.
we expected a fast expand, so...
Yeah, on this map it's actually quite easy to get a fast expand going, just because you've got a common sort of choke point here in between the 2 bases, and with a Terran and a Protoss you can get that walled off really quickly. Obviously with a Zerg on my team it makes it a little bit harder, so thanks TBZ. So I did the standard sort of building in my base, and again I don't really need to wall off because I'm not against a Zerg, so I didn't really bother with that.
Exactly. We only see like 1 Zealot coming out of a Protoss after like, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes, depending on this desired speed. But us ourselves decided not to expand just in case of a rush. We didn't want to see ourselves getting absolutely crushed by some attack that we didn't see coming, so good to stay wary.
Although looking at it now, Agent Zero and the Legend, they're both getting their expansions up before us, which is a bit unusual getting it up before a Zerg, but TBZ just wanted to be safe and get those lings out first, deny the probe from any sort of harass. And in the meantime, we're actually moving across the map to do some poking. Just getting that initial stalker out when you're against a Terran player can be really good. You can start to do some damage and run away from any Marines or whatever that come out to hurt you, because stalkers can only keep up with stalkers. They can't really, kill them that well, so it's pretty safe to do that.
Exactly right. Good analysis there. BLTdAXn.
The Reaper running into the base, just caught that in the middle of the maps with some lings. TBZ was chasing with some speed lings, and it jumped up into my base, but luckily I could position the sentry there. It didn't really do any damage at all, which is good for us.
Yeah, sacrificed 2 lings for a absolutely useless Reaper, and that kind of tells us that he's got the tech lab up. We can be expecting Marauders unless he's weird enough to go mass Reaper, which is interesting, but as you can see now, you will be seeing the concussion shell go up on the tech lab for Agent Zero, so we will be seeing some Marine Marauder bio play.
And as you can see, he's still only got that one refinery, so he wants to pump out a lot of Marines off his 3 barracks and his reactor there.
Exactly. Now, if you are to look at our own vision, we don't know that they've expanded at this point, I believe. What we need to do is go check that out. So I am sending a few links across the map to check on that and see what kind of damage I can do.
Yeah, and we see you're able to, I don't know if you killed a probe there, I don't think so. Oh, there you go, killed a probe and put some damage on that nexus, so that's always good. As you can see with this early expand, he didn't really have much to defend, so we're able to do a little bit of poking, although now he's warping in zealots 3 at a time, so that can make it hard to deal with those lings.
Quick thing to in saying that, yeah, watch out with lings. Don't underestimate zealots. They are very, very strong, and they will decimate your lings. As you can see, my lings go in there for the surround. They do get a good surround, however, they still get carved up by the zealots. So mistake on my behalf. Should have been poking around, just killing off probes and stuff. But what can you say? I want to ask BLTdAXn a question, as he is a Protoss player, and whether the Protoss here should have expanded at all, because unless you Forge Fast expand, is it not as he could have used those? I mean, did he really need to expand at that point?
Yeah,
or?
that's a good point. Especially with the risk when you're going against, a Zerg and a Protoss player, they can both be really aggressive, because with the sort of warp gate technology, you can just warp straight across the map at the front. And the Zerg player, they can always go for some kind of all-in. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in saying that as well, your expansion only just gets up quite a while after that Protoss, but as you can see, the Protoss doesn't even have that many probes mining on that base. It's only just really begun to become functional, whereas you have more probes on the base than he does, and you expanded later. If you get my drift, was able to do a bit of harass there, and it was useless. So just in saying that, you could have used the minerals better to defend more against the pushes.
That's a good point there. And
on the other hand, the Terran base was very functional.
And with the mules, that always helps. Double command centers, double orbital commands, always really good. And as you can see, he's getting his combat shields now, just because he's got a bunch of Marines, make them a lot stronger, and then going for the standard bio play, making medivacs 2 at a time. Yeah.
Damn, bio Terran with drops is very, very pesky. If you are playing Terran and you're going bio, just make sure you're dropping everywhere. Just try to be everywhere at once if you can. It's just amazingly good for disrupting their economy and getting their army moving around, pushing at the front especially in twos, is very effective.
And as you can see, this Terran player, he's going for his quick upgrades. He's already got +1 attack, and now he's got his armor on the way.
Yeah, exactly. As you see, popping down a macro hatch myself, because if you keep track of my minerals, I am making quite a bit, because I've only got lings at this point, which you might find quite interesting, but I did want to note that do not underestimate just pure lings. Making sure you are kind of in a direction in terms of your tech, but until about the 9-10 minute mark, lings are just so effective if you have a lot of them in numbers. So
yeah, definitely, especially when you get those melee attack upgrades, they're really, really effective.
Exactly. I think, what am I at this point? About 1-1, so that's still quite good, but I should be thinking about upgrading to 2-2, and yes, I do have them already on the way through my Evo chambers.
And that Baneling nest, looks like you're getting your Baneling speed, centrifugal hooks. Is that sort of the plan for this game against that bio?
Oh yeah, gotta get in there and do some Baneling damage.
Yeah, love the Banelings. As we
Everyone
can see,
does.
they're pretty happy to sit back on 2 bases and just macro though. Although I think, yeah, we're planning on getting a 3rd here, and we might get a 4th soon, or a 3rd each. But yeah, that's something you got to be wary of. Like, even though they did go for that faster expansion, it might not actually help that much if they can't keep the macro up. And to do that, you definitely need another base. You can't just sit back on 2.
Exactly, and now you can see the army sizes in terms of the Protoss versus I should say BLTdAXn versus the Legend MT. So the Legend MT has a few Stalkers and Zealots out, whereas BLTdAXn's got Mortals, Sentries, Zealots, Stalkers. He's even got Observers all over the map. He's got the Colossus out as well, which is a pivotal point in that, which will help with the bio of the Terran. And I, like we just said, will have the Banelings and the Baneling speed with the Lings to get this around and do some serious damage to this army. So at this point, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, And we can see now the enemy Protoss player, they're starting to get their upgrades on. They got double forge, but they're actually only using one of them at the moment. So that's a bit of a mistake. They've definitely got the minerals and the gas there. But yeah, so we're managing to keep up on upgrades, at least equal with them anyway. And with the Colossi and Thermal Lance, should do pretty good job.
If you guys were wondering, this is Platinum Diamond-ish League. Just to put that into perspective, just so you know, it's not like it's bronze or silver. But it's not like it's Masters or Grandmasters in this.
Yeah, no, somewhere
we'll
in
get
the
there, don't worry.
Yeah, maybe the next lot of games we cast, that'll be Masters, Grandmasters.
I think we can easily make Masters, but let's not take our minds off the game.
Yeah.
So I can see my gold expansion is up. Randomly, for some reason, not having my workers transferred over there, so that's something I should keep an eye on whilst playing.
And it looks like they want to go out for a push now. They're starting to move their units out the front, but luckily we can see it all thanks to the observer, so we sort of know what's happening.
I'm surprised they didn't even notice the observer at all, because they are very obvious.
Yeah, they can be quite easy to spot, especially if you have, I find the low graphics settings, they help me spot observers. So
and you can see the big banelings morphing in from me, preparing for this push. As we see, they're moving across the map, and as you can see, their bio army is just, oh my god, imagine if huge baneling hits on there. Going to deny BLTdAXn's expansion there as an attempt to attack that base, and we don't have the best positioning for this attack, but we kind of have no choice. So sending in my lings first, the Colossus of BLTdAXn will carve it up. As my banelings come rolling in, and yep,
they just run away. Unlucky.
Yeah, they run away. So
for some good hits there.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a victory for us in that aspect. We defended his base and didn't really lose much of the army either.
Yeah, no. As you can see, we're both up on supply compared to them, so that's good. It looks like we're in a pretty good position. And it's always useful when you get one of those bases up just to put some static defense there, just because you know is going to be able to defend it, especially in these team games when it gets to macro mode. You can spare the minerals, so you might as well.
Exactly. Especially the fact that it slows them down. I mean, your army's not going to be everywhere at every time, and it's a good idea to make sure you got something there to put up defense. And now I'm actually finally getting my gold base into fruition as I decided to put some drones down there, and after that push they had. So we're moving up in the economy as well now, and they seem to be only just expanding. We got a Terran base orbital at the gold, whereas the Protoss, however, most definitely wants to be expanding at this point. Although he's kind of hanging in a lot of minerals and gas, so that's unfortunate at his part.
His macro seems to be slipping a bit. Still stuck at 130 supply when let's see, he could.
You're on about 190. I'm on about 130. I think the loss of a lot of Lings and Banes kind of affected me there, and the Terran's on about 180 as well, so pretty even. And
pretty good
a huge engagement at the bottom.
This was definitely not a good position for me. I got my Colossi flanked by all those Vikings. They just ripped through it.
Yeah,
but
not cool.
I got TBZ here. He starts rolling with the Banes.
Yeah, the Banelings and the Zerglings come in, and we totally destroy their army. As you can see, and BLTdAXn warps in a few zealots to help with that, and then I get a huge surround. And as you can see, that is just a hugely cost-effective battle, I should say, I guess, for me, more so than BLTdAXn, as his army is a lot smaller than it used to be. However, a lot of Zerglings and Banelings just going and then being able to rebuild straight away is easy enough. As you can see, I have a huge bunch of Lings right in the middle of our bases there. With the reproduction, that's the economy kicking in, as you can see.
Yeah, and as we can see, we're all kind of even on upgrades. I've got 111, whereas the opponent Protoss has 102, and the Terran has 22, same as TBZ's melee upgrades. So in that respect, it's pretty even. But as you can see, we're up a base at the moment, which is definitely a good thing. The enemy Protoss doesn't seem to, well, they haven't grabbed an expansion yet. Maybe they don't feel comfortable with it because they keep losing their army, but that's definitely something to watch out for. You don't want to get stuck on 2 base.
Yes, that is correct, and I'm trying to do a little bit of poking with these lings, losing a few actually, which is quite scrappy of me, but just kind of keeping them on edge. It's the way I was kind of trying to go for there. Then I decided to just pick off a few stray units, which is any unit is useful to kill. So at this point, if you're looking at even my own supply, excuse me, my own mineral count, you can see I'm on, almost 4,000 minerals, and I could easily go ahead and take another couple bases. Also shutting down a couple more base opportunities for the opponents as well. So looking out for that, trying to keep track of everything if you can is good, especially your economy.
Production tab, everything's still really busy. This is where I decided to transition into High Templar just because the storms can be so effective against that Terran army, and they're a lot of fun. I felt we were ahead, so I figured might as well get some more ahead. And TBZ had the same sort of idea, going for infestors, wanted to get those fungal growths off, and that is really awesome sort of move.
Yeah, especially against one, a Bio-Terran army, and two, just locking those Protoss units in place to get a good surround with my Lings and let BLTdAXn wreak havoc on them with Colossus and Zealots getting in there as well. So at the moment you can see I've got a nice Infestor hit squad going down here, going to try and do as much damage as they can, getting fungals off on the Vikings there, and also fungal or two off on some Bio as well. It's very cool if you do go infested to just take a couple or maybe three or off your army and just kind of do as much harass as you can. Infested Terrans, fungals on workers, anything you can really do if you have the chance, because it's just so effective and it does so much damage, and it's really not much from your part to do anything, and sometimes if you can keep the infestors alive, it's really, really good as well. So
as we can see, there's a big drop in TPZ's base. 5 medivacs there, so he had to bring all his Lings to try and deal with that. They're not the best against marine drops, just because you can't really get that surface area,
especially in your main, and luckily enough, as you can see, I've got the 3-3 upgrade on my Zerglings, but this new base I popped down here is going to get dropped on, and it's not going to help much with my economy. And as you can see, the purple Terran has taken the base in the top left as well, so we're going to have to deal with that sooner or later. Not remembering exactly when that happens, or what's going to go down, but my gold base is up and running quite well, very effective, and gaining a lot of economy through that.
And as we can see, they're starting to run out of minerals now. That gold patch is getting a bit exhausted. He's not keeping many SCVs on it because I don't think he wants to run it out, and he's got nothing in his base mining, and he's only got a few minerals left in the Terran's naturals, so they're all running out of minerals quickly. Although, I guess they got the... Oh, actually, the enemy Protoss players managed to work through his bank, so he's definitely going to be looking to grab another expansion.
Of course he is, and he is hanging a lot of gas, though. I guess he's at 1K, 2K. But I guess that's what... now, as you can see, I've decided to morph a few Banelings to deal with this planetary.
Yeah, I guess at this point, we just felt we were so far ahead, it's worth sacking a few Banelings, or quite a few Banelings, 74, to deal with another
How
base.
many SCVs did I just kill then? Oh my goodness. I killed a lot.
I almost missed the big battle in the bottom. That was a pretty crazy battle. As you can see, the storms there. I need to keep my High Templar back, but the storms are still so effective.
Yeah, so effective once again against that Bio army, and a good kind of combination, as I was saying before, locking them in with fungal growths and then getting storms off as a Protoss if you're in a 2v2 team is just, it instantly kills. Seriously.
It's good fun.
Amazing. Okay, where are we at this point now? Yeah, obviously I think the Terran's mistake here was not saturating this gold a lot more. As you can see, his mineral count as well is very low at this point, and he really needs to get he's got a bunch of SCVs down at his natural just doing nothing, and he doesn't have a saturation on the gold, so he could be macroing a bit better and sorting out his economy, but hey, that's not our concern at this point in this game.
Yeah,
I guess that's lucky for us. And I'm at 192 supply. We have BLTdAXn at 146 as he had that engagement down in the bottom, therefore he lost a lot more units than I. Even sacking those Banes didn't really damage me, as I was saying. Had a huge economy, could just rebuild straight away, which is awesome.
And as we can see, even though the units lost tab is pretty similar, We've been able to mine this whole game, whereas they've been sort of strapped for bases. I think this is actually me grabbing this base now, just because I figured if he doesn't want it, I might as well take it. Oh no, it's him. I'll be taking that later. Just remembered that. But yeah, as you can see, they're so short on minerals and things that they've just got workers hanging around doing nothing, and they definitely want to be able to get some income.
That's right, and in the middle of the base, I think if you noticed BLTdAXn's Warp Prism there, just warping in a few Zealots and then kind of just popping them back in the Warp Prism, going for a bit of harass, even in the 27 or 25 to 30 minute mark in the game. Just good to do that little bit of harass.
Yeah, you can be so mobile with Protoss when it gets to the sort of later game, just because of this warp-in mechanic. You can, I don't know, be attacking multiple locations at the same time and really put down the hurt. As you can see, I've got 2 warp prisms going. I'm going to be trying to use them both as best as I can. I'm not that good at it, the multitasking, but it was good fun anyway.
It's always good fun when you're warping into your enemy base, and as you can see, they have to pull their entire army back just to deal with a few Zealots, and it just distracts them from everything else. As you can see, even this gold, he's only really using mules to mine that out. The Protoss still hasn't got another base up. He's sitting at like a huge amount of gas and only a bit of minerals, and he really needs to get a base up. And as you can see, we really have a lot of map control at this point with the mobile Ling Force and the Warp Prism action of BLTdAXn.
Yeah, definitely good to have that mobility when you get to late game. And then TBZ still with his Lings, another really mobile thing, just running around doing whatever damage he can.
Exactly, and in terms of armies here, you do see I've got my Broodlords up and going at my gold base. They're just kind of floating. I call them the Nibble Lords, as they do drop down those nibbly little broodlings, and they do destroy. And yeah man, Broodlords are the shit.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there we go, I finally found them. Got, what, 9 Broodlords here, so that's
Another thing to note, you do not really need any more than, like, I guess 7 to 10 Broodlords, unless you're going Broodlord Corruptor Infester, because you really don't need to have too many. It's just a lot of resources you're using up on such a heavy unit. And if you've got 7 or 8 or 9, it does enough damage to the enemy armies, as long as you've got the Lings there to support and some Infestors. It's just, you don't need any more.
Yeah, definitely, and especially you don't want to leave those Broodlords by themselves. You don't want to make too many of them that you can't get the ground army to support them.
Exactly what I was about to say there. You want to have the supply free to have Lings, Infestors, or maybe even Roaches if you have the tech, but it is a lot more useful. We have a huge engagement here. They take down my gold, almost. Can't remember if they do take the entire thing down, but they do have a hell of a lot of bio, which is now getting crushed by BLTdAXn's 7 Colossus, I see. 6 Colossus.
I must be a bit further behind you now, because they're just moving in now on my my game.
Alright.
Oh no, he's killing the creep tumor there. So here they go, straight for the gold, which is already mined out pretty much, so it's actually not that big a deal for us. And as we can see, at the same time, they're getting, you know, sort of warp-ins happening everywhere, so...
That's right, BLTdAXn's huge effort with the Warp Prisms paid off, and I find the funny thing, I find it very funny that they're in the production tab. You can see it almost completed Dark Shrine going up. Probably very late to kind of go for that. I think they would have had, if BLTdAXn go to the enemy Protoss's resources, you can see he's got over 5,000 gas.
Yeah.
And not even enough minerals, so he could have spent that gas so much more wisely if he had one more base as well, using those DTs as well that he was looking to get. Obviously very late, but could have done a lot more harass, and that's what they really need to do against us, is to harass and keep us on edge and screw up our account.
When you get late game as Protoss, and if you start building up that gas, it's always good to spend it on DTs or High Templars, because at the least the Archons are just so powerful, especially with the attack upgrades you'd have late game. With +3, I think they do. I wonder if I've got any around here. I'm not sure, but it's like 46 damage or something. It's really good.
Yeah, wow. Especially against my kind of army that I had going, especially with the huge amount of Lings. If you have Archons with that splash damage, it's just so hilariously funny watching them go.
And as you can see, they've GG'd out the game, so that was our first successful game. That was
Okay.
number 1
GG.
of 3. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next game.
Game 2 coming up. See you guys later.